Welcome back. I'm Lizzie.
And I'm Chloe.
So, how have you been lately?
Pretty good. You know, it's almost finals week. Tomorrow's stop day. So things are a little rough right now.
Yeah.
How are your finals going?
Oh, I've had a lot of them. You know, being in the J school, we have a lot of projects that are more time consuming than sometimes tests can be. So
Yeah, for sure. At least with the tests, you can study for it and then you take it.
And then it's over.
And it's done. With the project, it's like you have to plan it out, and then you have to execute it, and then you have to
edit it and everything. I know. I would do anything to just take a test right now, honestly.
Yeah, I hear my friends talk about I have this huge test tomorrow. I have to do so much studying for it. I'm like, what kind of test is that? They're like, oh, it's multiple choice.
Yeah, I'm like what?
That would be so nice. You guys have no idea.
Do you have a lot of film projects that you've been doing?
Yeah. So I just finished my 2 biggest finals, which that feels great to have them
oh my
off
gosh,
my plate.
Bet.
Yeah, but I have a big journalism project to do, and I still have another paper to write, and then a paper after that to write.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, so it feels like a lot. But what all do you have left?
I have a few projects as well. I have a test to take just online and everything. So mostly the projects is what's gonna take me the most time. But hopefully tomorrow with stop day will kind of be a reset to kind of use that time to do some more stuff. So that'll be good.
Yeah.
What day are you trying to get out of Lawrence by?
I'm leaving next Saturday.
Okay.
So, yeah. What about you?
I'm gonna try to leave Wednesday maybe, just depending on when everything is done and when I can get all of my stuff moved out of my room.
Yeah.
That'll be another task.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do this summer?
So I'm actually moving out to Colorado. I'm gonna try to intern at a photography studio and do some work for Climbing Magazine.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. What are you doing?
I'm just going back home from Oklahoma, so just working and maybe taking a few summer classes just to kind of get some of my generals out of the way and everything. So Nothing too special, but it'll definitely be a good break.
Yeah, I'm so ready to be done with school. It was a good semester, but it was crazy. We were still wearing masks at the beginning of the semester.
I know. That's so weird to think about because we've been done with them for months, so now
it feels so long ago.
I know.
Even spring break, that just seems like forever ago.
Oh my gosh. And they always say it just flies by after, and it's so true, but it feels so long ago now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Time doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, well, so what are your plans when you come back from
I have one more semester.
Colorado?
And then I still need to figure out what exactly I'm gonna do with my life after graduation, but I think after the summer I'll have a better idea for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That'll be awesome. You'll get a lot of good experience, especially if you're photographing, and obviously you love climbing, so that'll be super fun and just a good reset after working super hard this semester and everything. And hopefully you get some good content.
Yeah. Hopefully. I'm just excited to go rock climbing.
On a show or something one day.
Yeah,
rock climbing, that'll be super fun. Have you done that for a long time?
Oh yeah, this is my 6th year.
Oh my gosh, that's super cool. How'd you get into that?
The Andover YMCA actually.
Really?
I grew up in Wichita, and so I grew up going to the Y, and I would always see the rock wall and be like, wow, that's cool. I want to try that someday, and I did, and I still love it.
That's super cool.
Yeah, but the Andover Y actually got pretty much obliterated by the tornado, which is crazy to think about.
That's so crazy. Have you had any friends or family members that have been affected by it?
Yeah, so a lot of my friends actually still live in Andover, and so one of my family friends, they just had a baby and they have this big house and it got completely obliterated by the tornado.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so they're staying with a couple of friends now, and they're all okay. They're all safe, which is really good.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, it was pretty scary.
It is really scary. I'm just glad no one was too badly hurt. There was a few people from the University of Oklahoma that died in a tornado chase. Yeah. That people have been talking about all over Oklahoma, but
that's so sad.
I know, it's really sad.
Do you have any family in Wichita or in Andover that were
No,
affected
I don't.
by it? That's good. Yeah, this weather has been crazy.
I know. It's weird that we're going to summer in a few days when it's rainy and 50s and cold and then it's supposed to be in the 90s on Tuesday. Kansas just can't make up its mind.
Yeah, there's no in between. You're either in a jacket or you're sweating.
Yeah, really.
I'm ready for it to just be warm and stay warm.
I know. I'm so excited. We need to start getting out and being at the pool.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, this has been a great show, and it's been awesome co-hosting with you, but that's all we have for you guys today. We'll be back with the KU Gamer after a short break.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand up to bullying.
1 out of 5 students report being bullied every year.
70% of students report having witnessed bullying.
Don't.
Don't.
Stand by.
Stand up.
Up to bullying.
Together, we can put an end to bullying.
For more information about how you can prevent bullying, go to kansasagainstbullying.ku.edu. Don't stand by. Together, we can make a change.
Welcome back, KU Gamer here, and today we're going to be talking about a game that is very close to my heart. It is called Valorant. If you haven't heard about Valorant, that's okay. Don't worry about it. We're here to talk. So, Valorant was released in June around 2020, and it has an extremely unique take on FPS. Again, FPS, if you haven't tuned into any of the other shows, stands for first-person shooter. So, what makes this game extremely unique is it combines elements from a very popular game called Counter-Strike Global Offense and Overwatch, and it really manipulates the way that you're supposed to play the game. So most first-person shooters or FPS games, you have the ability to run around while shooting pretty accurately. You get to ADS, which is aim down sights, so you get to look through a little reticle on your weapon. But Valorant, it changes that up a little bit. So Valorant, like CSGO, it makes it so you have to stop moving completely. You don't really get to ADS. It doesn't necessarily improve accuracy, and you can't move at all while you're shooting. If you move while you're shooting, the bullet spread, it's inaccurate and it's awful. It's not worth it. You don't want to do it. You'll get caught with your pants down way too much. So Valorant is a search and destroy style game. What that means is that there is a defending site, mostly 2 or 3 defending sites on each map, and the attacking side gets to determine which side they want to go to before the round starts, and the defense has to either guess or play by ear on how they want to go about it, because if you stack one site with too many players or agents, as this game is referred to, then you leave another site completely open and the attacking side gets it and you have to retake. So I mentioned that it has a couple game elements in it. Counter-Strike, obviously, that weird, gunplay. And then Overwatch is another one. If you haven't played Overwatch, Overwatch is a unique game in itself, but how it makes Valorant special is it gives your agents different types of abilities. These abilities determine whether or not the agent is a duelist who kind of goes out and frags, which means, they engage in the most combat. And then you have sentinels, which are good at holding down a site. So if you're on defense, you want a sentinel on that site so that if the attacking side comes, they're a lot more defensive. You have controllers, which are mostly flashes and smokes, so that they can kind of dictate the pace of the gameplay. And then you have your initiators. The initiators are good at starting the combat. They're the ones that kind of let you know who's on site or if there is anybody on site, and they let the duelist they give the information to the duelist. So with these special abilities, it allows for players to, again, defend or attack the site easily. If you have a team that consists of a well-rounded setup, so you have a couple, like maybe a duelist, a sentinel, initiator or 2, and a controller, it makes it a lot easier than if you were just running around with a bunch of duelists or a bunch of sentinels, because that would be really one-sided. Within the game, there is a built-in economy. So what that means is before every round, you have an opportunity to purchase your weapons or purchase your armor. There's an array of weapons to choose from. You can choose an assault rifle, you can choose shotguns, you can choose gun or pistols or snipers, but each one costs a different amount of money, and if you haven't saved up each round accordingly, then you might be out of luck. One team might have weapons when you're running around with a starting pistol, and it's really hard. It's really hard on save rounds to win. Winning rounds obviously gives you money, and you guessed it, if you lose a round, you get less money. You don't get no money, that'd just be impossible to come back. You get a little bit less money, and it kind of forces you to play smarter. So again, the money is used for your armor and weapons, but it's also used to buy those abilities. So again, each agent has a special set of abilities, and the money you get from each round allows you to purchase those abilities to use within the game. And if you don't have enough money to buy all of it, then it makes it a little bit, again, you have to think about your gameplay a lot. The games are 1st to 13, however, each round lasts about a minute, 30 seconds, I believe, and halftime starts at 12 rounds. So you'd think that with a game going to 13 rounds, halftime at 12 is kind of, weird. Well, it's because the game is made so that a team cannot sweep the other team easily. It's very back and forth, which makes it extremely competitive. The skill gap for the game is extremely large. As its predecessor, CSGO, it takes your natural gaming ability and it puts it to the limit. You have to learn all these new mechanics. You have to learn all these new. You have to learn all the new things about the game, the way the game plays. And I'm a silver 3, and I've been playing for like a year or two, and it's so hard. So again, the player can't really walk around and shoot, and I think that's a big reason why it's so hard, because people are used to Call of Duty where you can sprint around, you can jump, you can shoot 360, no scope, all that nonsense. So the teams are 5 against 5. So you have your 5 and you have your 5. One side is attacking, one side is defending. And again, it's very important to make sure that you know what agents you have on your team, because if you have too many of one, it might make it hard. And Valorant is a top trending game in esports, and it's one of the most competitive games at the moment. And if you haven't seen it, you should definitely give it a shot, or at least try to watch it. And I think that's all for me. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back with the news.
Living a healthy lifestyle can be very important. Make sure you get plenty of exercise every day. Even your dogs could use exercise and water. Look like this, not like this. Look like this, not this.
Welcome back. I'm Lizzie, and this is your Thursday Good Morning KU News Update. An EF3 tornado ripped through Andover, Kansas on Saturday, damaging more than 1,000 buildings in south central Kansas. Winds up to 165 miles per hour carved a path of destruction nearly 13 miles long in the Wichita suburb. While there was no reported deaths directly from the storm, 3 University of Oklahoma students were killed in a car crash while storm chasing. Plate City Police and the Missouri State Highway Patrol chased a suspect in a homicide investigation across the state line on Tuesday night before confronting the man who was fatally shot. The man's name has not been released. Country music star Naomi Judd died this weekend, just a day before she was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. Judd and her daughter Winona won 5 Grammy Awards as a duo, and in a statement from Winona and her sister Ashley, their mother's death was attributed to the disease of mental health. The bill to override Kansas Governor Laura Kelly's veto of the Fairness in Women's Sports Act failed in the Kansas House by a 2-1 margin. Supporters of the bill are concerned with the fairness of allowing transgender athletes from playing on a team that matches their gender. And now for KU Sports, we'll toss it over to Grayson.
Thanks, Lizzie. KU track and field athletes won 14 events at Saturday's Rock Chalk Classic. The Jayhawks will head to the Big 12 Conference meet in 2 weeks in Lubbock, Texas. Not a great weekend for the softball team. The top-ranked defending national champion Oklahoma Sooner softball team crushed the Jayhawks by scores of 7-0, 19-0, and 9-1. KU is now 15-31 this season and 2-13 in the Big 12. Next up is a trip to Ames, Iowa this weekend to play the Cyclones. The baseball team won its 2000th game in school history last night in Omaha. After splitting with the Mavericks, the baseball team is now 19-27 overall and 3-12 in the conference. Next up is a Sunflower Showdown with K-State in Manhattan this weekend. The men's golf team placed 6th overall at their Big 12 Conference Championship last weekend in Trinity, Texas. The Jayhawks shot 29 over par to finish just ahead of Baylor in the team standings. And yesterday afternoon, the team learned they had qualified for the postseason. The Jayhawks will be the number 5 seed in the Texas region. And finally, the tennis team is also headed for the NCAA tournament. They'll play the University of California at Santa Barbara tomorrow in the Stanford region. Freshman Maria Titova was all selected as an individual qualifier and will compete in 2 weeks in Champaign, Illinois. After a quick break, Maddie will be here with her prediction for the most exciting division in baseball. Keep watching.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
I'm Maddie, and all semester long I have been dying to talk about baseball at any chance that I can get, and they're finally giving me the space to do so for our last show. Everyone that knows me knows that I am a huge Cubs fan, but also everyone knows that I have approximately 0 expectations for them, so I would like to discuss probably what will be my favorite thing to keep an eye on this season, and that is going to be the bloodbath that will be the AL East. With the exception of the Orioles, the AL East is going to be a race that's going to come down to game 162, and I wholeheartedly believe that at least 3 of the teams in the division will make the playoffs. But why is that? What makes this division so good? Let's break down the strengths of every team that doesn't play in Baltimore. I don't have a second favorite team, but if I did, it would have to be the Red Sox. And so because of that, I'm probably hyping them up just a bit too much after the 10-15 record they're currently sitting at, but I still feel confident in the pieces that this team has. The Red Sox landed Trevor Story this offseason, and though he's had a slow start to the year, Fangraphs had him projected to be a 3-WAR player this season, and so if he lives up to that, he will be a valuable asset to the Sox. The Red Sox are sending out roughly the same lineup from last season that sent them to the postseason, and that's the lineup with an offense ranked 3rd in the AL last season. With Xander Bogaerts, JD Martinez, and Rafael Devers, is there any reason this team shouldn't maintain that? On the mound, of course, the Red Sox would benefit from a healthy Chris Sale, but Nathan Eovaldi will take great care of that number 1 spot in the rotation just until he comes back. The Yankees are seeking a 5th straight postseason appearance, and I don't see why that won't be a possibility. You have 2 huge bats between Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, with Judge posting a 300 batting average and 204 WRC plus so far this season. Even former Cub Anthony Rizzo is having a great start to the year. Of course, you have to mention the star talent that the Yankees have on the mound. Garrett Cole is without a doubt the ace of the AL East, and the Yankees' number 2 starter Jordan Montgomery is one of my early All-Star picks. With a strong 1-2 in your rotation, plus a lights-out Aroldis Chapman coming in the 9th, the Yankees will absolutely be making their October appearance. After winning 100 games in the division last year, on top of really not losing anybody in the offseason, there's really no reason for the Rays to not make the playoffs. Seriously, not a reason at all. Even when Tyler Glasnow went down in the middle of the season last year with a torn UCL, the Rays still somehow made it work with their $71 million payroll, which will always be astonishing to me. Wander Franco is an absolute stud. Mike Zunino had the best season of his career last year, and both Yandy Diaz and Manuel Margot have started off pretty hot. Even when missing Glasnow, the Rays' rotation is still solid. Shane McClanahan is currently averaging 14 strikeouts per 9 this season. Drew Rasmussen is solid, and you have a strong veteran starter in Corey Kluber. Last but not least, we have the Blue Jays trying to make it back into the postseason, and they're the favorites to win the division for a reason. Just looking at the Blue Jays lineup, it's so easy to tell why they're the favorites by just the top of the order. You have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and George Springer, with both of them posting WRC plus numbers above 150 and with both of them batting above 280. You also have Bo Bichette, and though he's off to a bit of a slower start, I'd like to see him put up numbers similar to his 2021 season when he slashed a 298 average, 343 on-base percentage, and 484 slugging. The Jays also added Matt Chapman this season, who has strong potential to be an above-average bat. On the mound, a strong rotation consisting of Jose Barrios and Kevin Gausman could definitely lead the Jays back into October. So what's the final verdict? With all this being said, I want it on the books right now that though the Blue Jays might be the favorite, I will be rocking with the Rays this season to win the division. But of course, the AL East is incredibly stacked, and I can't wait to watch it come down to the wire. That's it for Sports Today and today's show. Thanks for watching us all semester. We'd like to wish everyone good luck on their finals, and we will see you here in the fall.